Hi there, day seven. CFS, my friend, my enemy, my constant companion. Okay, so like I said, a lot of this I haven't shared with people. Um, like many people, I said I can have on one hand or one or two hands maybe in my whole life, like this kind of thing. People who do see it a lot are like really close friends who stick around, or family members. Um, so like um, and there's like a couple of those where I'll sometimes say, CFS sucks, or you know what you don't want to do? You don't want to get CFS, and I'm like, yeah, James, we get that. Um, or I'll just be like zonked out on my bed because I'm not getting up. It doesn't matter how much training I've got. It's like today is not a day where I should push myself. Um, but I can only you can only get to that. For me personally, I only get to that stage because I'm honest with myself. Like, you got to be honest. Should I, or shouldn't I not? Anyway, what I thought I'd share was all my other ones have been fairly. CFS sucks. It really does. And there's no way for me really to describe it. Um, I can be in front of the camera and you might think, oh, he looks fine, or he looks white because like the light there, or he's smiling and rah rah. And that's actually I'll leave that story for another day. About it. I used to get my mum into trouble. My poor mum. I used to get my mum in trouble. So maybe I'll do that tomorrow if I remember. Because that's another thing with CFS is random memory blackouts. Um, but it sucks. So as a child, when I used to try and explain it to someone, or and someone say like, "Oh, what's CFS like?" and stuff like that, because I did homeschooling, and something not a lot of people know. I did homeschooling, and occasionally we'd go and have these outings with other people who did homeschooling, and some of them would have CFS, and some of them wouldn't, but they'd have other issues, or they'd just be like travelers who needed distance education. And so you'd all get together, and then, like, why do you do distance education? And then conversation, and like, oh, what's CFS like? It's really hard to describe. The closest I've ever been able to get to is imagine having a cold or a flu every day of your life, but you're in different stages of it. So maybe you're getting it, maybe you've got it, maybe you're on the recovery end, maybe it's the tail end, and you're about to loop into it. And so you can be anywhere on that spectrum. You could be like getting it and then full blown the next day for blah, doesn't matter the length of time, and then getting it. So it's always that. Now, the difference between a cold or a flu, and I say a cold and flu because they're similar symptoms, like foggy brain, you might have respiratory distress, swelling, muscle ache, joint ache, just ache, nerve ache. Like you can have anything of those. Headaches, migraines, light sensitivity, fatigue, tiredness, can't sleep. People think that to be fatigued means you can sleep. I wish. I dream of feeling sleepy. Oh, I love feeling sleepy because I don't feel sleepy. I feel fatigued. I feel tired. So it's kind of like a flu or a cold that you're always in, and most of us at some point in our life have had a flu or a cold, and that's what it's like with CFS. However, the problem with it is it doesn't really describe the mental drain, because if you're a normal person and you're sick for a while, or something's happened, and maybe you've injured your foot and you're put out of action for 6 weeks, and you feel yourself getting a little bit down and in the dumps, and because you're not active, you're not doing stuff you want to do. Well, that's like what it is with CFS, except when you've got a cold or a flu or an injury that heals, there's like an moment where the pressure relieves and you can once more return to whatever you could do. It doesn't happen with CFS. There's no release of the pressure. There is only a change of pressure. So maybe Today I'm feeling a little bit better than yesterday, so the pressure's a little bit different. However, there's always a constant pressure. And being on that constant pressure, it goes from stress to strain. So strain is what kills us. Stress, good, builds us up. Too much stress turns into strain. Strain kills us. Okay, so it's a constant mental pressure. Doesn't matter what I do. Doesn't matter what I did the day before. Doesn't matter what I'm doing today. Doesn't matter what I eat. Doesn't matter. Rah, 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 rah. I could have a really good day yesterday and do everything that I did the day before and on that day to try and model that success. And the next day I could just be, it could just be awful. Okay, so there's no relief, and that part there, to my mind, sometimes is the worst aspect because there's no relief. Painkillers, my body laughs at painkillers. It drinks painkillers, so that's why I don't take painkillers. There's only a very certain time where I'll take painkillers, but your body will adapt. It gets used to things, but there's always that constant pressure. So there's no way for me to describe what it's like to have CFS, chronic fatigue syndrome, or what the ME. I'm not too sure what ME stands for. I didn't really use it growing up, but I know it also stands for CFS. And fibromyalgia syndrome. Fibromyalgia syndrome, I could say, like, you hurt more in muscles and joints and nerves and stuff like that. So if you've got both, it's a fun combo. I'm being sarcastic. It's not a fun combo. Don't do it. But it's like being in that constant cycle of getting a cold or a flu. Really bad part of the cold or flu, kind of easing off cold or flu, and then like you could be in anywhere in that cycle. But it's that constant mental pressure that just wears you down. It can make you irritable. It can make you impatient because you become raw. So you can become raw. You can feel fragile, or you can kind of be oversensitized to it where you don't feel it until it becomes really bad. Sometimes I won't feel how much pain I'm in until I start feeling sick, and it's a kind of by the way, there's different kinds of sick. I can categorize different kinds of sick. Yeah, I've had this way too long. It's like an oily sick. It's this weird, creepy, oily sick, and if I feel that, I'm like, oh, that's usually an indicator that I'm in a lot of pain. And if I have painkillers, the pain drops down into like where I can feel it range, and like, oh, that's really bad. So it's a constant pressure. It's a constant struggle, and I don't ever believe that how you, like, your illness, how you're feeling, your health, ever gives you the right to be a jerk to someone or be rude or ill-mannered. However, it's really, because it's that constant pressure, it's that constant struggle, it can make you irritable and all those things. Like, different people respond to it different ways and on different days. One day you could be like this most loving, caring, kinding person, and the other day you're like, you're way too close in my space. You're like within 2 meters of me. I can feel your brain from over here. It's too much pressure. That kind of thing. Like, sometimes your sensitivity levels can just be through the roof. I don't want to be like, my shirt is too heavy. That's a fun one, when your shirt is too heavy. Yeah. So those kind of things. So if you ever kind of like had a wonder about it, that's most probably the easiest way I could describe it. But just know it doesn't come anywhere close to it. So that's a cheery note, isn't it? And then some of us experience it, because we're all different human beings. We'll all experience similarities, but we'll all be different. Some of us will be in different grades of it. Like to me personally, I can look at like 10 people with CFS, and to me, they've all got a different version of CFS. Like, you've got that version, you've got that version. I know I've got this version, you've got that version. Oh, you got a version like me, you've got a version like them. I've never really spent the time to like categorize them, but for me, I've had it for so long. Like, I can, like, oh, you got that version, and each one has a different kind of experience of it. And some people have it and they get better. Like, that blows my mind. Go you guys. Yeah, so I thought I'd share. Like, it sucks. don't get it if you can. You know, it's not a fun thing. And if you've ever kind of wondered, and I imagine it'd be like the same for other chronic illnesses or anything long term. It's just, uh, I use the flu and cold thing because of how it kind of physiologically feels, like that kind of thing, and the mental pressure that it puts on you as well. So I'm not sure if that would carry over to other um, chronic illnesses. However, they all have that similarity where there's that constant pressure, there's no relief, or there's very little relief. And for us, a little bit of relief is amazing. Okay, so yeah, if you've got any questions, leave a comment, ask a question. Feel free to like, subscribe, share. Uh, um, if there's anything that, so I know I said if you've got any questions, but if there's anything that you'd like to ask me, just like I said in an earlier one, cure ones are just, I like to stay away from cure questions. Okay, like I said in the first one, I'm not here to sell a cure. If I was going to sell anything, it'd be something a lot more practical. Um, but yeah, feel free to ask away. Thank you very much for letting me share with you day 7.